very jam-packed, so let's jump right in. But first, a message from our sponsor.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601 271 2420, or you can find them online.
Hi, my name is Lillian Scott from the USM School of Media and Communication. Join us live Thursday, February 22nd at 6 p.m. for a News You Need live event. Presidential Election News, a Survival's Guide. A guest panel and I will wade through the muck and mire of modern electioneering and provide tips on how you can remain informed without being a victim of nefarious misinformation. The event is in Stout Hall on USM campus, but will also be broadcasted live on WUSM and streamed on the Southern Miss Student Media YouTube page. Presidential Election News, a Survival's Guide. A News You Need live event. Thursday, February 22nd in Stout Hall at 6 p.m. Come out and join us.
Welcome back, everyone, and happy Thursday. In USM campus news, Cynthia Letch-Smith, a New York Times bestselling author, will be recognized in the 2024 Southern Miss Medallion winner, or as the Southern Miss Medallion winner. The University of Southern Mississippi hosts the annual Faye B. Kiger Children's Book Festival, as well as the Urza Jack Keats Award Luncheon and Ceremony, April 10th through 12th. The event has been part of USM tradition since 1968 and is presented by the USM College of Education and Human Sciences School of Library and Information Science, also known as the SLIS, in conjunction with the university's Libraries de Grumman Children's Literature Collection. On Sunday, March 3rd, at 2:30 p.m. at St. Michael Catholic Church, located in Biloxi, Mississippi, the Southern Mississippi's Gulf Coast Choral will perform, under the direction of Dr. Jonathan C. Kilgore, the Assistant Professor of Music and Associate Director of Choral Activities. This transcendent musical experience promises to uplift the soul and stir the heart. This Ambassador Series event is presented free of charge and the public is invited. Today through the 25th, the Southern Miss Theater will perform The Seagull, or How to Eat It, in the Hartwig Theater located in the Theater and Dance Building. Tickets are on sale now. Tonight at the Southern Wing Company is game night. Find out who is among us at 6:30 p.m. at the Powerhouse. Meanwhile, in Hattiesburg news, on Friday, February 23rd, DREAM, or Drug-Free Resources for Education and Alternatives in Mississippi, will host their annual dessert auction fundraiser. This event features a live auction of beautiful desserts from talented bakers across the Pine Belt. Guests can also participate in the silent auction. Tickets are $10 and you can purchase them online. For more information, visit the Night of Sweet Dreams Facebook page. In Mississippi news, the Mississippi John Hurt Museum, located in Carroll County, was destroyed in a fire on Wednesday. The Sheriff's Department of Carroll County do not suspect the fire being done out of foul play, but are still investigating. Currently, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, as well as the Mississippi State Fire Marshal's Office, all responded to the scene and are working with the Carroll County Sheriff's Department on the investigation. And lastly, in other news, sorority Chi Omega has Witches for Wishes event to support their philanthropy Make-A-Wish. The event is March 6th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Grilled cheese sandwiches and a drink will be sold for $5, and you can also purchase tomato soup for $3. The event will be hosted at the Chi Omega House, and gluten-free options are available. For more information, contact a Chi Omega sister. On March 4th, sorority Kappa Delta will have their philanthropy event, Chips and Cheese with KD, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. The event will be held at the Kappa Delta House. It'll be $5 for nachos and $8 for nachos and a drink. Contact a Kappa Delta sister to purchase a ticket or for more information. On Saturday, February 24th, Pi Beta Phi sorority will be hosting a philanthropy event as well. Aerospike will be held in the Payne Center at 11 a.m. Contact a Pi Phi sister for more information. Blue White Week is next week, held by Pi Beta Sigma and Zeta Pi Beta the NPHT fraternities. Contact a member for more info. That's it for the news segment today on Southern Miss Today. Next, we will have the latest in Golden Eagle sports and the weather. We will be back after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Hi, my name is Lillian Scott from the USM School of Media and Communication. Join us live Thursday, February 22nd at 6 p.m. for a News You Need live event. Presidential Election News, a Survival's Guide. A guest panel and I will wade through the muck and mire of modern electioneering and provide tips on how you can remain informed without being a victim of nefarious misinformation. The event is in Stout Hall on USM campus, but will also be broadcasted live on WUSM and streamed on the Southern Miss Student Media YouTube page. Presidential Election News, a Survival's Guide, a News You Need live event, Thursday, February 22nd in Stout Hall at 6 p.m. Come out and join us.
Welcome back, everyone. Diving into the Eagles sports segment. The USM men's basketball team will face South Alabama tonight at Reed Green Coliseum. This starts the final weekend of home games for the USM men's basketball. The game is at 7 p.m. Women's basketball also has a game tonight at 5 p.m. versus the University of Lafayette at Monroe at University of Lafayette at Monroe. Southern Mississippi's baseball Nico Mazza collected the initial Sun Belt Conference Pitcher of the Week honor for the 2024 season on Tuesday due to his outstanding efforts on last week's opening day for the team. For more information over Golden Eagles sports, go to southernmiss.com. As for weather today, there's a high of 74 and a low of 58, and partial clouds are expected. It is also a bit windy outside, so even though it's nice out, a jacket may be nicer. Up next, we have the Mississippi Moments brought to you by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi, and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. Holdeman Mennonites don't believe in education beyond the 8th grade. Stanley Giesbrecht discusses the church's stand on education and the legal questions it raises.
Our church does not really support education beyond the 8th grade because we believe that higher education leads to, we call it high-mindedness, false pride, and it leads into vocations that we feel like might not be really conducive for Christian life. Now, our church does not forbid education beyond the 8th grade. That's not the point. Someone that has a calling, someone who is wanting to pursue a particular career, they would perhaps be able to find support and permission for what education that would require. If you cease to send your children to school after they get out of the 8th grade, or at any stage, I guess, and you say that we have quit because of religious and conscientious reasons, our Constitution guards that right, and there has never been a state successful in prosecuting that.
To hear more, visit MississippiMoments.org or just like us on Facebook. Mississippi Moments is supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. The humanities are for everyone.
That was the Mississippi Moment for today. Coming up after a word from our sponsors, we have the pleasure of hearing from Laura Laughlin about the USM sorority and fraternity life. So stick with us.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Hi, my name is Lillian Scott from the USM School of Media and Communication. Join us live Thursday, February 22nd at 6 p.m. for a News You Need live event. Presidential Election News, a Survival's Guide. A guest panel and I will wade through the muck and mire of modern electioneering and provide tips on how you can remain informed without being a victim of nefarious misinformation. The event is in Stout Hall on USM campus, but will also be broadcasted live on WUSM and streamed on the Southern Miss Student Media YouTube page. Presidential Election News, A Survival's Guide, a news you need live event, Thursday, February 22nd in Stout Hall at 6 p.m. Come out and join us.
Are you in a hurry? Well, I am. But as a paralyzed veteran, I had to overcome incredible challenges just to regain my independence and return to work. Finding a parking space shouldn't be one of them. Illegally parking in spaces reserved for people with disabilities is not only wrong, it's against the law. So please, think twice before pulling into a reserved parking spot. Even if it's just for a minute, it's 60 seconds too long. This has been a public service announcement from United Spinal Association.
Now let's please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Laura Laughlin. Hey Laura, so nice having you here joining us today.
Hi, Emily. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So you're the director of sorority and fraternity life here at Southern Mississippi?
That's right. Yes, I worked here for a few years, but I started in the director of fraternity and sorority life role full-time in the start of 2021.
So for those of us who aren't familiar with fraternities and sororities, can you tell the audience what the roles are on the campus of USM?
Yeah. So fraternities and sororities, a simplified version is it's a student organization on college campuses across the country. They are student organizations that exist to help students get engaged at their college or institution, and that's, of course, the value we see in them at Southern Miss. And then, I think the broader goal of fraternities and sororities is to connect members across generations. So you think that's sort of one thing that sets fraternities and sororities apart from another club is that members are connected to people who have been members for decades. And so there's a thread of connection between alum and current students. And I think that's kind of what makes sororities and fraternities special. And then I think, when done well, they impact the community positively and they impact members positively. So I think that that's part of what draws members in.
So for those who are drawn in by sorority and fraternity, so how does somebody become a member of one of those organizations, and how many of them are on this campus?
There are 26 fraternities and sororities on the Southern Miss campus. And those 26 fraternities and sororities are divided into 3 student governing councils. So depending on how a student would want to join would depend on which council of chapters they're interested in. Our website is a great first place to go if someone's interested because it kind of explains how different councils bring in members differently. But really more importantly, it gives you people that they can contact to help us walk them through how to express interest and then how to join given which group they're interested in. So for some of the chapters, there's a very formalized way of joining and expressing interest. And other councils and chapters, it's a little bit more informal. And so it just sort of depends on which group they're interested in, kind of then navigates which process they start.
So what are your responsibilities with the fraternities and sororities? And do you have a team that helps you with them?
Yes, I have a very important team that helps me. So like I said, I'm the director of the office. We're very privileged to have a office of 5 full-time staff members. And then we have graduate students and student workers and student leaders. But there are 5 full-time staff members. 3 of those staff members directly advise those 3 councils that I talked about. And there is an associate director, assistant director, and coordinator of those in those 3 positions that advise those 3 councils. Hannah Scott Back advises the College Panhellenic Council. Ben Kanak advises the Interfraternity Council, and Valencia Walls advises the National Panhellenic Council, which are the historically African-American fraternities and sororities on campus. And then my other staff member is a fabulous woman named Janelle Washam, and she's our budget officer, administrative assistant. So all 5 of us kind of run the ship for fraternities and sororities. And then my responsibility specifically is I get to kind of oversee the whole operation, which is a different job every day that I show up to work. So it runs the gamut of advising students who are putting on events and making programs happen to engage students. It's working with the office of our lots of offices on campus, a lot of work with our alumni association because it's organizations, like I mentioned, that span generations of members. Working with the foundation to help raise funds for the institution on behalf of those organizations. So my job is different every day, but really supporting those 26 organizations, their alumni, their advisors, their student leaders.
So I know you help them, but what are the goals of your department? And so how do they intertwine with the alumni and other organizations on campus?
Yeah. So, our biggest goal is to help engage students. What we know is regardless of if it's a fraternity or a sorority or the chess club or Southern Miss Radio, what you all are doing here, regardless of what the engagement experience is, we know when students come to a college campus and they join something and they get the leadership development skills from joining organizations, we know that leads to higher retention rates and more success and better grades. I'm sure, Emily, you would say that of all the things you're involved with. Yeah. And so that's what our goal is to get students engaged and plugged into campus.
So there's tons of events. I know I listed a couple of them earlier. So tons of events that fraternities and sororities do on campus and for the community. So for somebody who's not involved with none of those organizations, are they able to volunteer with the events?
Depends on what it is. I think you have some events, 26 groups that are independent organizations that all operate a little differently. Broadly speaking, I'd say for our groups, you have some events that are member specific that a student would only do if they're involved, right? So if it's a sisterhood event, only members of that group are going to do that sisterhood event. But then you have efforts that are educational programs where they, it's talking about whatever social issue that the group is discussing on campus, and that's open to anybody that wants to come and learn about it. Or if it's a service event, and that might be open to anybody on campus. So I think it just depends on the specific event. So certainly there are things just for members, but definitely lots of ways that interested students could still engage in the community without necessarily being involved just yet.
Yeah, it's just like those fundraising
right.
events that I was speaking about earlier.
Witches for Wishes and
Witches for Wishes,
right.
Lemonade for Literacy. That's the one my sorority does. So all of them.
Blue White Week, there will be lots of educational programs next week that someone could go to without necessarily being a member.
Yes. So, assuming that you were involved in a sorority when you were in college, which one was that, and how did that experience shape you as a professional into your professional role here?
Yep. I'm a member of Chi Mega, so yes, I was a undergraduate student here and joined as an undergraduate. And you hear me say that I am a member of Chi Mega, although I'm no longer an undergraduate student. That's what, as I mentioned, sets this all apart from other groups on campus, is that it's a lifelong experience. And so, what I would say about what it was for me as an undergraduate student is it was immediately a group of people to whom I belonged when I got to college. And college is scary no matter who you are and is overwhelming. And so for me, it was the very first group of people on Southern Miss's campus that made Southern Miss feel smaller to me. And it's a networking experience. It puts me in touch with people that tell me, you got to apply for a Goo Crew, and you're a PR major. I'm a PR major. Let me tell you the best class that you've got, So it immediately gives you people that are in a very unofficial but official capacity mentoring you through college. So, and obviously it sort of directed my career. So I loved what I was doing outside of the classroom so much that eventually Joe Paul was the vice president at the time, and I said, I want to do what you do. And so it was that impactful of an experience for me that it led to my career. But, I think lots of college students, even if it becomes their career like me or not, they still talk about experiences like this, like fraternities and sororities. And that still is what people count as a very transformative experience. So yeah, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, opened so many doors. Like literally my first week of being in a sorority, I knew everybody on the row. Yeah. And it's such a community, which is very, very nice to see. And of course you're the director, so you can see the community from above. Yeah. It's so fun to be a part of. And
we don't always do it right. I think there's some valid criticism of fraternities and sororities in any systems. And I think you got to start from that place too. But when it's done well, it's a an experience that builds leadership skills, that connects you to people, that puts you in touch with alum that want to help get you jobs and internships. And when done well, it's a very transformative experience.
Since you've become the director, what is something that you are the most proud of that has been done so far, and what do you want to see happen in the future of fraternity and sorority life here on campus?
Yeah, I love that question. Most proud of, I think that I think I'm really proud of some connections we've made with the Alumni Association. I love that was one of your questions too. And that, a lot of our successes don't happen in a vacuum, and I think are happening in the space of the whole institution. So Dr. Paul's obviously done an incredible job helping reinvigorate a lot of the alum of the institution, and a lot of those are alums of fraternity and sorority life. And so I'm really proud that we've helped kind of bring back, in part of his efforts, alum to the institution and back to campus for football games and to be plugged in. And I think we've done a good job at helping that be successful the past couple of years, and I'm excited to keep doing that through things like Greek Alumni Weekend, through helping to bolster some of the scholarships that we offer as fraternities and sororities to our members. So really proud of that. And then something that I'm hopeful we can continue to do is to continue to connect with the Hattiesburg community. I'm a Hattiesburger. Moved away at some point, but I'm from Hattiesburg originally, so I'm really excited about some plans to connect fraternities and sororities and really campus just to the Hattiesburg community. I think that's a really important relationship and sets Southern Miss apart in a lot of good ways, because whether students know it or not, Hattiesburg's a really awesome college town. And
It's
so
wonderful.
and so the more that our students know that, the more it helps both Southern Miss and Hattiesburg. So I'm excited about some efforts we have coming up to do that.
I know that a lot of the sororities and fraternities that like my friends are part of, that their organization directly influences the town.
Yeah.
And I've been able to do that with my sorority, and it's so nice to see being able to give back
Yep.
as like hands-on as you can be, rather than just like it's very fulfilling to see that.
Yeah. And y'all are students are what part of make Hattiesburg feel young and fun. And
Yes, I
'cause
love it
we
here.
want y'all to enjoy it too. And best case scenario is you stay here after you graduate. We know not everyone wants to do that, but it should be a place that you at least consider maybe have, remaining as a citizen or coming back one day.
So, is there any upcoming events that were not listed? And for those who have questions over the events, how can you be contacted?
Yeah, so I want to highlight a couple of events. I mean, there are a ton. As I said, we have 26 chapters, 3 governing councils. If you go to our website, you'll see we have a FSL overall calendar that lists all of those like chapter and council specific events. But we have a couple big events that are coming up this semester that really aren't just specific to fraternity and sorority life. But I know my fraternity and sorority community will play a big part in making them successful. So a couple are Founders Week. So Southern Miss has really fun plans for what's called Eagle Fest, which is like a spring homecoming event that goes into Founders Week. So there will be lots of good events that are for students to celebrate the institution the last week of March. So I want people to keep an eye out for anything that's called Eagle Fest or Founders Week. It's the week prior to the Good Friday and Easter holiday, so people can keep an eye out for that. And then an event that we're bringing back this year that's been kind of dormant for a couple of years is the big event. It's at the end of April. It's on Saturday, April the 27th. Again, open to everybody, not just students and fraternities and sororities, but will be a morning of service in the Hattiesburg community. So we have lots of community partners, from the Salvation Army to Extra Table to the Red Cross, lots of local groups of philanthropic national efforts to help bolster the Hattiesburg community and support some of their efforts in town. So anybody that wants to sign up, any student that wants to sign up to serve that morning, it's going to be a really great event. We'll have hopefully opportunity for 300 or 400 students to go onto the Hattiesburg community and do service that morning. So keep an eye out. We're hoping registration opens for that in the next couple of weeks. So the big event, Saturday, April the 27th.
And so for those who are curious and or interested in joining fraternity and sorority life, how can you be contacted?
I mean, a number of ways. Email me, laura.laughlin@usm.edu. I mentioned our website, usm.edu/fraternitysorority life. If you go on there, you'll see all of my staff's contact information. There's a link to a form that anybody could fill out and tell us they're interested in joining, and we'll respond back to them today or tomorrow, because we want to make sure people get plugged into the right community and get the information they need to be able to know how to do that. So website, email, follow me on Instagram, send me a carrier pigeon, whatever it takes. We want to make sure that we get students connected to the experience.
Well, thank you so much
Yeah.
for joining me here today
Thanks for
and
having
giving
me.
us a rundown of FSL here at Southern Miss.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. And anyone's welcome to holler at me, and we'll get you connected.
Yes. So coming up next, we have a news wrap.
Hey Golden Eagles, my name is Kennedy Drake and I'm here with the Community Calendar, where we gather information from around campus and within the community near you in Hattiesburg. The theater department will be performing The Seagull, or How to Eat It by Gab Reisman on February 23rd at 7:30 p.m. in Gilbert F. Hartwig Theater. There are several other showtimes if you cannot attend this one. Visit the website on screen for more information. Prepare to groove to the beat of the City of Hattiesburg Big Band. Stop by on February 24th at Marsh Auditorium at 3 p.m. for an afternoon brimming with the rich, soulful melodies of jazz. Don't let the chance slip by to indulge in timeless classics and contemporary favorites delivered by a group of skilled musicians. Join the Noon Book Club on February 28th at 12 p.m. on the second floor of the Library of Hattiesburg. The club will discuss Remarkably Bright Creatures, a charming, witty, and compulsively readable exploration of friendship, reckoning, and hope. Copies of this month's book are available at the library circulation desk. New members are always welcomed and snacks will be provided. For any questions, email the group leader with the email provided on screen. An adult spelling bee will take place February 29th at 7 p.m. in Sajner Theater. This is the perfect event to learn new words to enhance vocabulary, witness excellent public speaking skills, and observe how spelling professionals thrive under pressure. Get your tickets at the website www.allevents.in. If you have an event you would like for us to promote, send it to sm2news@usm.edu. This is just one way we thank our community for watching Southern Miss TV and supporting us here at Southern Miss Student Media Center. Visit our website, sm2media.com, to keep up with all of our news. Signing out, I'm Kennedy Drake, and this has been your Community Calendar. Stay blessed.
Thank you so much for tuning into Southern Miss Today here on Southern Miss Radio. A big thank you to the wonderful crew who keeps this program running. Our engineer Darius McCrimmon, Alina Pitletsky, our live stream producer, Anna Lee Johnson, our producer, Oare Ade, the executive producer, the program director Shania Williams, our GM Dr. Wilbur Martin, and me, your host, Emily Blue. That wraps it up for today. Remember, soar high to the sky, fly eagle, fly.